Hey everyone, Mac is back, and today I'm going to do a video about the Hall of Faces and the Hall of Faces castle that you should have, or you should have built already, or this is a kind of help you build that castle if you haven't, because you're definitely going to need this if you want to be a fighter. The buffs for it are really good, and everybody should have one, and you actually should have many in your alliance to help everybody else out. So we're going to dig into that. The very first thing that I want to say is the buffs that you get just kind of give you kind of motivation to build one of these castles. And the reason that you want to do that is because of these buffs right here. You're getting almost 40% across the board on attack, defense, and health, and you're getting marching speed just over 20%, which is absolutely amazing. And if you can kill or execute 7 lords at once, highly recommended, and you will get 7 days worth of this buff. So you have this on 24 hours a day, all the time. So if you ever need to change to attack, to battle mode, you'll have these buffs on there and ready to go. Now, if you want to extend the duration of the altar blessing or the buff that you get, you can go into commandership and go near the almost to the end, right before the last few researches, and you can extend it for 360 more minutes. So this is also something I recommend getting as well if you want to extend it. It's not highly sought after, and I don't think you need to really push hard to get there. But once you reach, have most of your research done, this is one of the buffs that you're going to want to try to get to, as it's right here, and then you have these last 4. So you're going to have to get there eventually to get all the fervor increases. But make sure that you do the devout offering as well. So there are going to be certain requirements that you're going to have in order to make one of these castles, and make sure that you're using it efficiently the way that you want it to. So I'm going to get into that. So now I've switched over to my Hall of Faces account, and some of the requirements that you're going to have that I had mentioned earlier are your Lord level. So your Lord level, which right now you can see my Lord level rate is at 7. And you cannot have that Lord level go any higher than 15. If once you get to 16 or level 16 of that Lord, then the duration to execute it is going to take a day or more, and you don't have 24 hours to be able to do that. So you got to make sure it's 15, level 15 or less. And the reason you want to do that, obviously, is it's going to be less time, but anything from 15 or less is going to be 2.5 hours, so 2.5 hours, which is absolutely fantastic. It limits your risk of being attacked during that time, because you're going to be unbubbled when you're carrying that lord or lords in your dungeon. So just make sure that you're able to keep your lord level low, and to do that, you don't want to get your lord actually. You don't want to have too much experience. You can see the bar here, the blue bar, and as that increases, once it gets the whole way around, you get to the next level. As you can see, mine is at 7. I would recommend getting it to 9 or 10, because once you do that, you actually do get a few extra buffs or speed ups of what you're going to need for the buildings that you're going to have to upgrade. So that's the one requirement you're going to want to have. And if you happen to go over the 15 into 16, then I would say scrap the account and to make another one and start over, because it's really just not worth it at that point. As for the main thing you're going to have to go after is the castle level. So the level of the castle has to be 17. I've continued to upgrade this one. It's up to 21 now. I don't really spend much time on this one. But once you get to level 17, then the Lord can be executed, and that is where the key is for this, because as you can see here, level 21. But if you don't get it to level 17, if it's 16 or below, then when you take that Lord in the dungeon during that before the execution time, Once it's supposed to go into the execution time, after that 2.5 hours, the Lord will just automatically be released. So I've actually made that mistake before myself, so I understand how that works. And I didn't realize it, but so I'm just giving you that tip that make sure that the castle level is at least 17. So one of the very first things you're going to want to do when you start your castle, even before you start working on it, as soon as you can get past Melisandre's, garbage of annoyingness, I should say. She's just so annoying. Click on this, click on that. Once you can get her to you can get away from her, I should say. You'll get one of these a free novice transfer. So it's similar to the transnational relocation. Actually, it's exactly the same, except you get it it's a one-time deal use, and you also have to do it before you get your castle to level 6. So don't try to upgrade your castle too quickly in the beginning. If you do, then you'll have to actually save up for 810,000 of these alliance coins to buy a transnational relocation to bring your Hall of Faces castle to wherever your main castle is in that kingdom. So just make sure that you use that novice transfer before you get to castle level 6. Now, to get your castle to level 17, there'll be requirements for that. And to get those requirements, all you're going to do is be able to click on your castle, and it'll show the requirements that it takes. So I'm just going to speed this up. I think I have enough to do that. Actually, I do not. We'll use the diamonds. There, the castle. This is my next castle. I don't care. But now here are my requirements for the next castle. So it shows you that my wall defense has to be 22, and my rookery needs to be 22. So those are the requirements to get to the next from 22 to 23. So when you do that, if you have these in red and you don't have them finished yet, then just click on this arrow, and then boom, it takes you to the rookery. So I'm at the rookery. Now the rookery has requirements as well. So I need the quarry to be at level 18, which it is not. So you can see the X here tells you that. So you click on that, and now I can go to the quarry, and I can see that this is what I need to upgrade next. So this is the next piece that I'll upgrade to try to make my castle to the next level as well. So just make sure that you follow those requirements and get all of those buildings increased to the level that they need to be. Your wall defense is going to be the last one to increase before to upgrade before you can upgrade your castle to the next level. So it's just one of those things where you go from castle to wall defense, and then it's going to be something like your market, your warehouse, your rookery, also your hospital, and then your mine and your lumber yard will also need to be upgraded as well. So there's a bunch of buildings that you're going to need to do, so just make sure you follow those requirements. As for the Maester's Tower, the one thing that you're going to need to do immediately is to upgrade the building mastery, because you're going to want to try to increase your the building speed that you have, because you're just going to be upgrading buildings. You don't need to do much research. You can mess with that later if you want to change your castle into like a scout castle as well. That's actually something that I'm doing with this castle. But just make sure that you try to increase it as fast as you can. Level 6 is actually really good if you can get that to 21%. Before you'll have other requirements once you get further on, but make sure that 21% will be very, very good for you. So the reason before that I had said that you want to upgrade keep your lord level under 16, but also upgrade it to like around level 9 or 10 is for the lord talent points, because once you have enough lord talent points, you can upgrade this first construction speed in here, which will actually get you to another 30% construction speed. So once you do that, you'll be so much more efficient at speeding up those buildings that you're going to be doing, because that's what you're going to be doing mostly here is a lot of construction. So just make sure that that's where you're going to be putting those talent points in. You can see I have it at 6 because I didn't do this the way that I'm telling you. I wish I would have known more. I would have, because it would have been a lot quicker. So just make sure that you try to get your lord to about level 9 or 10. Don't go any further than that. Get those talent points, put all 10 of them in here, get that construction speed up. Make sure that one of the most important things is to make sure that you join an alliance for all those boxes that you're going to get from the rebel leaders. Make sure that you do not kill any of those rebel leaders yourself or even attack them. You're just going to go in there to kind of mooch off of that alliance, whatever it may be. A lot of alliances have, you know, a smaller alliance where they actually do that. So some castles are already built up, and you know, there are farms or whatnot, and they get plenty of boxes for you. So that'll help you to be able to increase yours as much as possible. Your own castle. And as you can see here, I'm not collecting any of these because you can see the experience it takes, and I'm only 3,500 for the next experience level, so I would upgrade very quickly. I'm not going to be able to do that. I actually have chapter 4 finished, but I'm not collecting chapter 4 as well. You want to get to chapter 3. You're going to have to get to chapter 3 just based on the way the game wants you to go, and the way the annoying Melisandre will do that for you as well. So just make sure that you're not collecting any of these. As you can see, like the main quests here, these ones don't collect them. You can see you get experience from them. You can gain, like I said, once you can do these little ones here to gain some of these resources for you as well. And these ones, the Alliance quest, don't do those. There's experience there. The VIPs, though, you can do those. There's no experience in those. So go ahead and feel free to do those ones if you want to. And there are other quests as well that you can, if they have at the beginning, like Arya, you can upgrade her, you know, look into those as well. One of the best ways to complete your castle very quickly is to use the merchant ship. The merchant ship has a lot of good stuff in here. You know, you're like here's a bunch of gold that you can get, and just everything we can possibly get in here. Like I'm gonna get, you know, there's 3 hours of speed ups there for 900,000 of the stone, and you can get plenty of that. So I could just go in here and just increase it to, you know, and collect those. So make sure you get in here and do your merchant ship to just get your resources and your speed up. Also increase your VIP level to level 8. That's where you want it to be, because at level 8 you're going to get the 20 minutes of speed ups, but you're also going to get the automatically complete alliance quest, so you can do that without having to individually click. And that's where you initially first do it. As you can see, level 7 you don't have that, and it upgrades it to level 8. So make sure that you have that, because that's just saves you a bunch of time, so you're not spending, you know, forever on your Hall of Face castle. And just one tip is, so once you have your castles done, and say that you have many in your alliance and you've collected, you know, your 7 lords, if you're not that strong to be able to take like a solo hit, something I recommend is to obviously put anti-scout on. Anti-scout is very important, so someone doesn't port in real quick, even if you can take a solo, because they'll be able to see you, be able to see your troops and your commanders on your wall, and they'll probably try to take a shot at you. But what I recommend is doing like a random transport somewhere in the kingdom, throwing on the lush forest or the northern pine, depending if you're north and south, or even the Dornish tree if you're way south. So depending on which one, where you are in the map, change to one of those 3 if you have them with your main castle, and then just hide somewhere and just wait for that 2.5 hours to be over. And then once it is, then you can just press the execute button, which is located in the dungeon area. So you don't have to go to your Hall of Faces to execute. You go into Hall of Faces just to see the time that it's going to take, or the buffs that you have, and the total amount, the total time that the buffs are going to be with you. So that's just something to consider as well. But I recommend doing this sometimes. I know you have to use a precise transfer to get back to where your spot is. So if you can avoid that and just sit there and wait, it's also not a bad idea as well. The issue that you have is if they do come to attack you, you got to make sure you're in you know, all your battle mode as well, so that you're ready for it, and if they, you know, so you can be able to fend them off if need be. But you know, once the fervor's off, you don't have to worry about it. So you can just, you know, if they do come in, you see them poured in, you can just bubble up. You'll lose all the lords and you have to start over again. But that's better than getting zeroed. So just make sure to keep that in mind. So that's pretty much everything, and I put all the tips here on a little notepad just for everyone to see, so you can kind of you know, take a screenshot of this or pause this and kind of read over it and see what's what. But just real quick to go over them again, you know, you get them for 7 days or more. Make sure there's a research one where you can extend that. Here are the buffs you get, the 30%, 21%. Make sure your lord is 15 or less. That'll keep the execution time to 2.5 hours. You can't bubble while you're holding your lord, which makes sense. Most efficient to execute 7 lords at once, to try to get them all at one time. Make sure you use that novice transfer as soon as you can. Get your castle level up to 17 as fast as possible. The research your building speed to level 6, upgrade your lord only to level 9 or 10, to get that as extra talent points to increase your construction speed. Go to chapter 3. That's about when Melisandre won't be as so annoying to you. Make sure that you do some of your quests, and that'll help you get up to that 9 and 10 mark. Use the merchant ship all the time. You're really going to need it, and get your VIP level to level 8. So those are just the tips that I want to go over for the Hall of Faces. I hope that this really helps you, and that you're able to make your Hall of Face castle very quickly. I believe if you actually dedicate time to it, you can do it in about 2 days. Most people don't. For me, it took a couple weeks because I wasn't on here enough to do it. So even a couple weeks to get it done. Once it's done, it's done. The last tip that I didn't actually include in here is that once you take the Lord and you execute it, to revive the Lord, all you have to do is log into the account again. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. You don't have to drink the Tears of Lys, and you don't have to buy anything else or do anything else. So this is going to be a free account anyway. So I hope these tips helped, and that you build your Hall of Faces very quickly, and you're out there smacking people around. Until next time, Mac out.